the Tonse Alliance. So to the Avanza and Sadelo, Pakuti Tulansha, Yotumalia Shifio to Yene, to the Mufikansa Fiachalo. Tomorrow we are launching a very important exercise, which is the campaign for, let me just say Central Province. And tonight we just want to delve into those issues, and let me just say this is a time that you should invite your friends to join into this conversation, because we are going to delve into very important issues pertaining to the next general election of August this year.
All right, thank you so much. So konsekomle kutika mkwaiba kumfabesu ngefe mwaumfama guests besu waichita introduce. We are joined in studios by our guest Honorable Binwell Mpundu, who is the Presidential Affairs Chairperson for Tonse Alliance, and Mr. Celestina Mukandila, who is the Secretary General for PF/Pamozi Alliance. So it's not a coincidence that these two gentlemen are with us. As you know, tomorrow the Tonse Alliance, the Tonse Pamozi Alliance, will be having a rally. So maybe you can just before we get into the main discussion of what we're going to be talking about, maybe you can just talk about that a bit. Maybe there are some people that I don't know are not really aware. What's the information about the rally that is supposed to occur tomorrow?
Well, Mwebena Kabwe, as you are aware, for some time, let me just say in the last 5 years, Abanensu Alete Kaba UPND Bati Leta Kwaba opposition. And so they were very confident that Avena Zambia, they would have no option but to vote for this failed leadership of the UPND. But mukutenya kwa kwalesa opposition yaba mubantu panto abantu ebale pita mufintu ifyata pata ebale chula eba chuli the last 5 years ukulalala mumfimfi eba chuli lokulashite fintu ifya mutengo, where people were failing to afford basic necessities. Eba chuli le kubufi bwa UPND wakutira yonsenga bamana election nga yaisanishi mulungushi texta we yaisuka. So lesari tupala when everybody thought that it was dark in Fimfiari Pona Muchalo, because people thought that there was no option to this failed leadership. Kanshi lesari tupela na amano twaisa ikolonganika fema opposition to apanga icho tule itati the PF and Pamozi, or let me just say the Tonse stroke PF Pamozi Alliance. Mukutila. Different political parties, Varisa Ikatana Pamo, Vapangecho Valetila, Tonse Alliance. Other political parties, Varisa Ikatana Pamo, Vapangecho Valetila, PF Pamozi Alliance. Nomba Mkuya Kwanishta, the two alliances felt the need to work together. Bantu mwali shiba balanda tu umkulubwa mkoko masako nangu mchinshiwa wanseva kuimina pamo. So we decided ba PF Pamozi Alliance na ba Tonse Alliance kwe batisentu ikatane pantu tulina common agenda, which is to liberate the people of Zambia. So tuwali ikatana nomba tukwetecho tule itati the Tonse PF Pamozi Alliance. Kanshi ichobonse mwishibe pantu balandati ubushiku fuile nsofu nedi ashiribako dia nsofu imye nshife ya ashala ko ibidi tuwala muku sala kwa chi umbawile na ngocho balandati general election kanshi fomunu mukabwe mwaleti la bushenomba nibani tuwala bikapo ukufumia kwa ababa tufilirwe ababa UPND. We have now come to unveil our candidates to you, who is President Brand Mundubile nenkonkani yabo ba Makebi Zulu. Kanshi tukakwata mailo echo tuletila the launch rally nangula kubungana ukwakweba tukachite announced that we have now started officially the campaigns here in the Central Province. We are starting with Kabwe, the launch rally, and then we start going into the other districts. Onse komulikonse kuserenje kumukushi konse kuchisamba tukesa tukalete bashiwinga besu ba Brand Mundubile na ba Makebi. But tomorrow is a very significant activity because we are officially launching the rally, or rather the campaign for the Tonse PF Pamozi Alliance. That is what is happening mailo kulia kumakululu kulia ku Comet Stadium.
All right, so let's get into our topic of discussion this evening. So the Tonse / Pamozi coalition as the only choice in 2026 and beyond. What can we say about this?
Come again?
the Tonse/Pamozi coalition as the only choice in 2026 and beyond. What can we say about this?
First of all, Mwewe Kalachalo, for the last 5 years, lekeni mitwale kofie kunuma pantu mwalishiba ushi shivu kishoko tulefuma akaluboko tuleya na la mwibu kisha kufie panono mu 1964 aba fyashi besu could not stomach the persecution at the hand of amakolonial masters balaba welenshiki abasungu bale tuteka batutekele kumunga wefwafwa uko aba fyashi besu no kushita fyefintu baleya mukushitira pa window nensa mbufe shakuilandila kale nga walanda fecho bamwisa tabatemenwe nishwala ingila mukayofi kale nensa mbufe shama yendele bantu fenga bakusanga kule kwafune cho beta tishishita kanshaba nenso abasungu bakwete ifimafunde ifyali fyakutubika mubusha no mbaba fyashi besu abo twitati ama freedom fighters batirete twikale mubusha elo nishichalo chesu chino kanshi bambire ukula ikolonganika bate sentupoke obuntungwa mu 1964 our forefathers fought, some of them died, some of them had risked their lives, and we secured, or they secured, the freedom that we are now enjoying today. Meaning that in 1964, Zambia secured its independence politically, and what was remaining was that we now needed to emancipate ourselves economically. Nomba, emyaka ya pita ponde muna 62 years down the line, twaisasa ngokwe bati abaga nesitwa bikire mu buteko mu 2021 baisafwayo batubwese notati baisafwaya na batubwekesha ku myaka ya mwawele nshiki pantu number 1 baisambo kupanga mafunde ayakutata pali umwina Zambia uli wonse ufwire okulanda ubuteko nga bwalufyanya bapange fundelo baletira cyber laws baisa apanga na yambi amafunda ya kutila inonjita no kuyafe ku chechi shima pepo ngalanda vyecho tabasekele mo ba government kumwi katanga filaba ikete shima pepo wa kukito ba Duncan Zulu kulandira kufeba bana market lelo bale chitana bale shupa na ba Ali Kibanda ba Bishop Peso abakusaka kanshi batupoke ensambu ya maisosele ba UPND kubomfya cyber laws babika kofe namafunde yambya ya kutila inonjita nokupanga fe political party na chishupa pantu bayabika bamukukulu kulya ku registrar of society abo abashita register ama political parties babika kona mafunde yambya ya kutila inonjita nanguna ulala mupabusanchi bobe ubuteko kubomfya muri bakapola kuti bakwingira bakubika ufitunshi fuma fyako bati bale umfwe fyolelanda nangula ifire chitika pabusanchi bobe kanshi nabatubwekesha kubushobo twali mwelo twaleteka kuli bamwisa bantu ngamulebisha mwebe nakabwe ifofwebe na Zambia kuti walale nsalalelo wazishibipile so abanesu bambo kututeka bulukubuluku nga fyafine bale tuteka abanesu aba mwawele nshiki so umuntu fye wonso mwina Zambia ukisha batende okukutira bepa ya political party yonse yo baawona ula PF bakonkera nefirongani no fimbinga mwali umfefe atitike kuli bashoni tembo bayamukuchita file nomination bayasangati kanshi ino political party yabo balisangusha li change bayaona ula na FDD iyono mayona wakumuyashi atire ifibamipoka PF na la myashima komubomfye nomba twalainda ni chilongani nonchi umwabela lesa elo aisa atupele filongani no atupela kwe chilongani no chitulebe bati RP mukamuna abanesu balenda no tufyola bamakebizu nabemyaka chola elo aisa atupela kone chilongani no ichaba mundu bile cho tuletila NRPUP mukamwena kwilampi mukutila ilio twamwena kuba twaba munfimfi lesale tolu buto kanshi pano tufikile ilio abela Zambia bamwena okutila papwa patalala twala konkanya pokula tekwa kumunga wefwafwa elo lesasa nikolu buto alete filongani no fibili atila bana bandi ikataneni pantu balandati where two are gathered I am in their midst. Kanshi lesadi pakatikesu elo balanda ati two cannot work together unless they agree. Kansho mukalamba wesu mundubire no mukalamba wesu makebi batira muninani tuenda chila muntu palu wakwe pantu uyu mukukulu tulina nkwe ala tupwa mno mushi. Kanshi mwebe na makululu, mwebe na kabwe, mwebe na airiji na konso kwa shara kutupinda tuwa kabwe. Na tumiletela the good news that when you thought na papwa na pafita, lesa na leto olubuto, aleta na kachola, pantu akachola, eka sendere olubuto, eka sendere lampu. Kanshi na tufumie lampu nomba, na yambo kusanika mutu pinda tonso tuwa chalo. So when we say, hope finally is here, we are saying now, men of honor have now come together to liberate the people of Zambia through this instrument we are calling the NRPUP. Chilonganino ichocho mukamwena kuisimbo ili elampu. Ukubombela pamune chilonganino cho mwalasanga echo bemishe akachola echo tuleba ati RP. Kanji natuikatana natupanga unity, hoping that the different men, capable men and women who have come together are going to bring on board solutions to the problems that the people of Zambia have been afflicted with over the last 5 years. Guys, hope is here at last for the people of Kabwe, for the people of Central Province, and the people of Zambia at large.
Okay, thank you for that. So, if I may ask, why is the Tose/Pamosi coalition the only choice in 2026 and beyond?
Well, of course, it must be understood that we're dealing with a regime that does not respect the rule of law. And we have said the big Honorable Brian Mundubile is not only a former minister, a former parliamentarian, he is a lawyer, a constitutional lawyer, one who respects the law. Now, where we are, we need to restore the rule of law. Our colleagues, the UPND, lied to the Zambian people. They lied to the Zambian people that when we come in, we shall restore the rule of law. But alas, we've got individuals that don't learn from history. Hakainde Hichilema does not learn from history. Because what we are seeing today, I am a victim of the lawlessness of this country and this government. My brother here is a victim of the lawlessness of this regime. I mean, look at it in this way. He told us that the moment you are suspected of an offense, before you are arrested, you will first, the police will first ensure that they investigate and ensure that they don't detain you before they conclude the investigations. But what we've been seeing is the police has been arresting before investigating. Is this the kind of country we've been looking forward to? No, definitely no. Did they lie to us? The answer is yes. These colleagues, despite having seen that there was a constitutional court judgment stopping the amendment of Bill 7, what did our colleagues do? They forced themselves into amending the constitution. Is this the kind of country we want? Definitely not. The rule of law has seriously deteriorated in this region. And this is where we are, and this is what we're telling the Zambian people. We must emancipate ourselves from this oppressive regime. Now, stemming from farmers, miners, kunokuine kukabwe, the miners are suffering. Why are they suffering? Because our colleagues have decided to close down mining opportunities for our youths in Kabwe, for our men and women. Why? Because they are very selfish. They are very selfish. They don't appreciate in local solutions. Before we can look at FDIs, which we now call foreign direct investment, we have brought ourselves to the table and said, colleagues, countrymen and women, we are offering ourselves as an alternative to this regime, because for us, we want to look at home-based or homegrown solutions. Our colleagues lied that the moment they come in, the price of fuel would reduce. They lied to us. they indicated that, in fact, President Hakainde was on top of the mic, indicating that no, the reason why fuel was expensive at 17 kwacha was because there were middlemen in between and they were getting kagwagu. But now today, with President Hakainde, with his corrupt single sourcing of the diesel in this country and the fuel in this country, he has taken the price of diesel or the price of fuel to above 30 kwacha. Now, what is he telling us? Is he telling us that it has gone times 5? Because clearly, that is where we are. The cost of living has gone extremely high. And we are saying, colleagues, we have the solution. Hakainde in 2021 lied to us because he told us that what he wanted to do. But for us, what we are saying is, we shall not only tell you what we want to do, we shall tell you how we intend to achieve what we want to do. So, in terms of the cost of living, for example, did you know that the most basic component of ensuring that we reduce the cost of living is fuel? Now, Hakainde has sought to reduce fuel prices, but for us, what we are saying is, we shall ensure that we revert. We revert to where we were. Then should not only receive processed crude or processed oils. That facility was meant to receive crude so that we ensure that there is proper competition. The market is liberalized. When there is competition, it means you'll be able to have prices that are reflective. When you have reflective prices, it simply means that the cost or the price of diesel, which is a very important component, will have reduced. Now, if you are going to reduce the price of diesel, it means the price of commodities will have reduced. It has a trickle-down effect. This is the how we shall achieve it. It will have a trickle-down effect. The cost of production in terms of the mining, production in the mining sector. Because did you know that in the mines, the biggest resource you use is fuel? This gentleman came and told us, no, we'll produce 3 million tons of copper. He did not tell us how, but us, we are telling you to say, when we reduce the price of diesel, it means the mines will have enough and they'll produce more. When they produce more, it will have meant that you will produce even more copper. And those are solutions. When we have cheaper fuel, it simply means that the cost of transporting fertilizer to the farms will have been cheaper. The cost of producing the fertilizer, because generation of or production of fertilizer equally requires fuel, to put in the generators, because there is no electricity right now. Because this guy has messed up the economy, messed up the energy sector. When we have fertilizer produced at a cheaper price, it simply means that the cost of production or farming will also be cheaper. Simply put, whatever is produced after producing or farming at a cheaper price, the cost of milling meal, the cost of agricultural produce will reduce. The cost of moving the agricultural produce from the farms to the market will reduce. Simply put, we will have lowered the cost of living. These are solutions we are bringing to the table. And that is why when the Zambian people will ask us to say, why PF Pamozi Alliance and the Tonse Alliance, it is because we bring to the table feasible solutions. We will not only tell you what we shall do, we shall tell you how we shall equally achieve it. So we've told you we will reduce the cost of living. We've told you that, revealing to the Zambian people that there are 4 ministers who decided to vote against Bill 7. In fact, the Zambian people have even said these ministers are heroes because they stood with the Zambian people. The Zambian people said no to Bill 7. Honorable Garin Kombo, Honorable Muchima, Honorable Elias Muvanga, and Honorable Samakai. These colleagues are true patriots because they said no to breaching the rule of law. But now the question that the Zambian people have been asking is, Hakainde, when we were watching on TV on the voting in National Assembly, there were 133 people that voted for the third reading. All of them voted. How come Imomo and list where you are saying 4 people did not vote? What are you telling us? Are you telling us that that system was rigged? Those are questions Zambian people are asking. And please, that simply means that you have betrayed the trust of the Zambian people. You have betrayed democracy. And that we do not want. So, Zambian people, the people of Kabwe, the people of Central Province, let us remember, we are dealing with an individual that has betrayed the trust we entrusted in him. The constitution was vilified, it was ripped, the very foundation of our democracy. And we should not allow such an individual to come back come the 13th of August 2026. We are bringing Zebig, Brian Mundubile, and Makebi Zulu. These are the hope of this country because they understand the rule of law and they respect the rule of law.
So just to add my brother Pondamadi, just a little spice, because you see, SG, there's been a conversation around the Mukweta agenda we know. I think tonight, if you are under SG, therefore to taking abantu basende mutuma steps, because there are very two important things that for us are paramount. Number one, Gafena Chilanda. 1964 abafyashi besu batupokera obuntungwa, where we started now enjoying insambusheso, insambushama isosele, insambushama yendere, insambusha kuikolonga na fwebene, shonse nsambwe poshapira twa batupela abafyashi besu. Ilelo aba batupokera insambusheso. The starting point of our next government, which is the government of Brian Mundubile and Makebi, is that isentuwese shabantu insambu. The pledge that President Brian Mundubile and Makebi are making is that let's liberate ourselves, our people. Babwekeshe insambu. Pakutana government ya Alufyanya. Abantu bakalatira omu Alufyanya. That's the starting point. We give back their freedoms. Muno tuli mukabwe. Bulanda bushala natukwata abanensu abena chitotera abena chilangwa na bamuninabo abali mujere okwabula okupanga omulando. So lyonse nga twaisa kuno kukabwe tulire filamu patu natukwata bamunine efwe abali mu kifungo okwabula okupanga omulando. Natukwata abanensu abenge nga muni yazulu oba twele ku kifungo okwabula okupanga omulando uli wonse. Imagine omuntu bamwikata nakamulando akawanu ye bashamuleta ku mukobeko. Na tukwata abanenso ababutuike mukyalo nga bajeje ba Emmanuel Mwamba nangula linoyo munenso alipusa okatayari chilufya tayari abobo tulefu atubwekeshe ensambu bekalenga abantu. So the starting point is we need to go back and get our political independence so that people can be free to participate in the affairs of this country. No mbanga to aipela shiri ensambu, because what has happened, like comrade Celestina said, ichalo nacho naika beyond redemption, where even institutions have crumbled completely. Because if you're a chalo chatantikwa tuwakwata obuteko bwakanika patatu, ubuteko kwaba chobeto central government, kwaba ba parliament, kwaba na makots ile loba haka inde ichilema eba running a show monse ngefine bachala ndaba nandi. How did the president haka inde know who voted and who did not vote when that was a secret vote? It means that the president haka inde bale control na parliament. Echo mwale mwena baneri muti bale tukapefi court kwa tuli banaba kusanga mungani. It was because the president was telling baneri do this parika bini ukata mshe for 30 days pantu kachila mwechongo. We want to restore the integrity of those 3 arms of government such that parliament will be independent, the courts will be independent. Bantu lelo for chilimu ni nani nga bakutwala ku court ni shwashi batu waingira mukayofi. Fino tulela nangi efi achilando mnandi. Inena bantu wala ku court bakulande fa defend yourselves. Since when did defend yourself become a crime? Bantu wa eba alilanda defend yourselves several times. So we want to restore the integrity of the judiciary. Bakuta ba justice, ba chief justice na bantu wa ma judges. Bale passing ama judgment ukwa buloku basontira tikakakenyu ina mkakakenyu uyu. Today fire because we are by executive, we need to restore the autonomy and integrity of institutions such as the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Pantule loba ECZ, bale tungwa na kada fe bamufula fe chishikipe chaka shika. Baya mubika nyobo commission, nga fe babuliro y'umulumendo wafune kulwanisha. Bamufunya fe mu campaign se vyanji. Baya mutuli kati nwe wala chita manager my elections. Baya funya ba mayo bazalomesi. Bamufula fe ichisote chaka shika. Bakata bamulukungu baya babika nyobo chairperson wa kuma elections. Babula uli omulumendo ati nani uli chipenzi kadowa kama muna menshi wale tukenzele palo wangala katiete baya mubika nyobo commissioner mushe mulenje wa my elections kuti yaba my elections ya mano. We want to restore the sanctity, the integrity of those institutions such as the ECZ, such as the Registrar of Society. Registrar of Society taba no kukukani nanga watu ati ndefo kupange chilongani no. But the last 5 years have been a challenge for the people who have intended to register their political parties. We want to restore integrity in other institutions such as the Anti-Corruption Commission. Pantule longa mwayako anti-corruption, mwalasanga na umbi kada uliamayo, uwa alife ni kada bamufura fechi kwembe chakashika, waya mubika mui office ili fule yala chita, manager ma affairs ya chalo in ensuring that corruption takuli mchalo. So, if let's go back and get our independence so that people can be free. Then we restore the integrity of these constitutional offices. Offices like the Anti-Corruption Commission, offices like the ECZ, offices like the Registrar of Society, and many other, including the 3 arms of government being independent. Then we go to the most important ingredient, which is now, providing independence to our country in terms of economics. We cannot be a country 62 years down the line. Tuile mkula lomba kubasungu. Ukula papa, muno mchalo nomba, umuntu aisa mwa yana mkumpokela ku airport at not debt restructuring. Debt restructuring webo mponda mali. Chile pilolo kweba ati abana bobe ebekesa mkulipile nkongole. Aba UPND bacha ifate tulipile nkongole. Tulefwa tusungukile nkongole kuntanji pakuti fibana fyesu ne finshikululu efo fikese mkulipila. Ifo tulefwa nga twalisa mubuteko. Tukabuli amabwe Yesu kopa gold emerald ne fyashala tukalipile nkongole. Pakuti atatusungukile nkongole kubana besu. We now need to emancipate our people. Abantu besu bachula. Tulefwa nomba tubike ama programs aya kutira abantu besu bakekalenga abantu. As an example, the agriculture sector has seen the worst of days. Iliyo bashibuli mibesu, balima bene, bachula, balima, bapelo obuteko efilimu afyabo. Ero bala balalika pa mabanki, ukula papa tenda na mesho babombela bene. So we need to restore integrity in the agricultural sector where farmers are not supposed to be grouped up. We want to go back to where PF left, the agricultural sector, where farmers are supposed to be given decent farming, or rather enough farming input so that they can farm enough for their families. They can also produce enough for our government to export in other countries. We also want to pursue the benefits to the max in the mining sector. Ile n'obuteko bwenu buletira bwatuma bakapokola kepayeni kalisheni fi polo kubana besu ili abana besu bayisangira God mwalimu nefya kitike kumufumbwe abana besu bamumpanga basanga gold. Elo obuteko bwatuma bakapokola kikabala salif polo pakutuma bafunyeko kumpanga kudya. We have promised, there's an undertaking yesterday mweba kongere fyali landa babrani mundu na makebi kukitwe. Uko balairi okutira mweba na besu mweba jera bo mweba ikala kukitwe na konsoko bachita mining. We are going to give you those dump sites. Celestine, did you follow what the president says? Me, I come from the Copper Belt, mwebe na Kabwe. Ichino chalo lesali tupala na fyonze fyo tukabila. Umukuba tatuwa kwa tamu na mchimo icho tuwasekelamo for many years now. The benefits in the mining sector is in 4 places. Number 1, we need to provide decent, employment to our miners. bale bomba n'omukinshi n'okulafula empiya isha kutira bale kalira mono olupwa lwabo ilero nga mwaya kukitwe bashimaini bale yakumopani nakolwa pakuti bamutamfye enchito bamupele ku pension ayachiteko amakoyo pani tukumopani kulyukwasaluka. So the number one benefit in the mining sector is that government must ensure that we have decent jobs that rewards our miners with decent, salaries. The number two benefit from the mining sector is that our local, so the problem of government is that the locals must be given that support. Nshitanga mwaya kuma Copper Belt na kuma Northwestern. Ama suppliers baitanga bacha supply lero. Papita 7 months pa kuwaforesha. Edo nga baba foresha. Elo zedara yena afumana olubiro kuna fundumana. Achitecho baita mchisunga ati garnishing. Aba poko tu pia before tabatoa punotu ritonsa kumayanda. The third benefit is for the banamadiketi. Bali abashitisha mu market abaloloko bati abafumine kumigodi nga bafola na basapra na ba contractor baisa ashita kotuma kweboto apa market pamona balabe ni abakwatu tuma shops otu nono. The fourth benefit is to our young people. Muno mukabwe muno abana besu baleya mukupalawula kula kuchishala bale tola zinki bale ishitisha bali mpera akasebo okutila fira fyonse kuliko alepala ulaba echebesu mukabwe bali bika offense bali pera umwina fyalo takwabo obuteko bwa mano obunga pera ama dump sites mwapela abalungwana nangu abena fyalo. Those are things that must be given to the young people so that yabale palaula bale kwata motu pia otu akweba tabene bale itwalira ko pantanji. Those are the promises that President Brian Mundubile and Makebi are making to the people of Zambia. The other promises that the two presidents are making is that let us now improve the energy sector. Munenyo motu wapita umwata pato mwakulala lo mwafita utuma businesses tonse muno mukabwe twaliwa bali abalishita masaluni ama baba shopu nabale kwato tuma welding shop because of having endured 4 years of a crippling load shedding situation. So these two leaders are committing to ensure that we invest in the different facets of the energy sector. Ukoko tulefuaya, we invest in hydro in the northern circuit. Pantuku southern circuit uku, takwaba good rain for patterns. That's why when there's a drought, we suffer the consequences in investing in hydropower. We want to go and exploit the hydro potential that is in the northern circuit. We want to also exploit the potential in nuclear. We had started some time back under the PF government, a program that would have seen us constructing a nuclear power plant. By now, that nuclear power plant at the hands of the Russians would have been running by now. We want to also exploit the potential in thermal as well as solar. Not ayamalanda kanoya kutia yo load shedding na ipwa apaba zesko bale tuwego kweba tishtenia masola. No mbali ne mwebe na kabwe mwalamu kulala mumfifi panto ya malaiti ba mipere ya kumizembele kafi ba mishingile fe bata. Very soon you are going to start experiencing load shedding na ile yoto afu minimum miaka ya fumakwe hii 5. These are some of the proactive steps that these two gentlemen, President Brian Mundubile and Makebi, are promising that nga mwatupele nsambu, mwatupela amaka, tuwaba in charge of government. We are going to take you step by step to ensure that Zambia does not just get back its freedom that was procured in 1964. Zambians don't just become free to be able to express themselves, to be able to congregate, to be able to associate. They will now also be emancipated economically through these different facets that can give economic value to our people.
Just to add up to what my brothers indicated, we must be very careful when we're dealing with issues of energy. These colleagues have decided to export almost all the energy to Namibia. We had Namibians appreciating our government for giving them power. Now I'll tell you, we are in Central Province. In Central Province, when you look around the Peninsular area, you know, Serenje area, Serenje district, you know, in Kabwe. There are major ferroalloys companies, ferroalloys companies in this area. They process silicon manganese and other ferroalloys. Now, these companies have got a biggest resource, which is electricity. Now, the electricity that these companies were using was actually cut because of the load shedding, and these companies were employing about 6,000 people. These companies in Central Province, 6,000 jobs were given to these people, but because of that, most of these plants had to shut down. Just here alone in Kabwe, there is ferroalloys, there is Sebo Zinc, there is another company there. These companies decided to cut down on manpower because of no electricity. Why? Because we've got a very irresponsible government. E-government doesn't care about you people in Central Province.
No.
6,000 jobs. Now, in a Zambian setup, 6,000 jobs would have meant that each and every person has got about 5 people that they take care of. How many people are we looking at? This Hakainde Hichilema doesn't care for the people of Central Province. That is why he decided to ensure that these plants had to close. And this is not right. The Zambian people require a responsible government. One that deals with issues that affect the citizens. Here in Central Province, imagine Kanamesa, 6,000 jobs. Because people needed to export electricity to Namibia. Because so that is where we are. But the Zambian people know. The people of Central Province. What I'm talking about is exactly what is on the ground.
Now we shwa muninani. Ine mwebena kabwe bantu webo Celestina. Ilecho na ishwa chakutilo muntu kuti akubepa lero. We cannot blame you. Bantu ubufi muli wonse kuti akubepa at any time. We were lied to in 2021 by these people that came with all manner of flattery. We don't blame the Zambian people for having fallen to that deception. No mbo muntu ngakubepe mikuibiri. Nishi problem teudi obu abufi. Problem ni webo. Mwewe na kabwenga mukasumilisho kumibepe mkuibiri. Nishi problem teba UPND. Nishi problem ni mwebo. Ngechaku mwenako. Ili nomba bamuno kutila ma elections yala apalama. Elo bamiletelo lukungu bala pango tumisebo tuwa belela. I am reliably informed kuno kukabwe. Icho mwale chetekela mwebene chakutila. Imisebo shali very important. Misebo fya pala kulia udomusebo wa kuvarika, which connects to Mukobeko passing through Kawama. Musebo abantu bakukabwe balefwa ishe chine. Pamono musebo uyu uwapita kuwa polo kulia ukupitila mukatondo. Na chowa road. Misebo balefwa ikababombele polo. Nomba pantu ifichitike nga wapita mukatumu Celestina. Walasanga pantu munomukabwe. This is a trading hub. Nga waisala fyo musebo for 1 week nisha abantu ninsala yeka munomukabwe because their main source of income is mainly trading. So yadama projects ya chimpelesha ya tumwene ya kumizembeleka mwebe na kabwe. Ifitwa mwene na inshikusha kweshi baisa mkuisula ichibari beba chimulungushi. This political company ya kweba tiena yisu kafye nidama politics yambo kupalama kampeni yambo kupalama na lelo mwebe na kabwe na li mimona na mufara nefi kwembe muleshano kutila nomba mulungushi ba isula lelo nga mwaya palya mube pushe ba UPND machito yanga ayo bapele kubena kabwe mulya mulungushi nga mwaye lelo ushe mulungushi na lelo ile bomba. So ayama elections tule ya kobane yakutila chila muntu waipusha bushe. How many times are we going to be lied to? Any politician who come to you must provide a clear roadmap. When you say, I am going to create employment, tell us how you are going to create employment. If we tuletila tukabwesesha abena Zambia muchinshi for them to be able to participate in the different endowments. As an example, chino chalo chali palwa no mushidi umushiri wakutira kuti mwalima for as long as the government is able to support you. Not to bubuteko bwakutira wamupeo tumasaka tubili twa fertilizer elo bwaposa palukungole mwalaka na mumameda. As we are saying, we need to exploit our potential in the vast land so that our people just simply need to be supported. Mwabapera farming inputs enough for them to grow enough, and then you connect them to markets. If government is not able to buy all the farming produce, they must be able to link the farmers to good markets so that they can now transition from being small scale farmers to being medium and large scale farmers. So the issue with yakutira fibane, yes, to alishiwa kutila, politics is dirty, politics yabufi, lero muisuminisha ukumibe palibidi. Tuambi okulashita interrogate the people that are coming. Bantu walandati, ichikuwa mkabachi mwena kuma mpalanya. Ili o muntu alabwe after 5 years ati mvoterena kambi. Muipushe nyasonte po abomba. Bushe ni ine mulungushi baishire mizembelekela. Ishire bomba no kubomba. Bushe ni ululukunguba mishiri hapa. Imisebo shachi mpele shiri walefu mubuteko. Esho mwala kuntike watu babike mubuteko na kambi. Yet abana benu lelo bale nuafika tata mumushumu na katubi mumushumu tabako ate nchito. Nielo bale mwebo kutila iyo natumiletela CDF. Tali CDF ni makada bale yaka na febeka. Ni nani muno mukabo wala njebo kwebati alikuatamo ukukwatamo benefit muri CDF yubalumba uwaila no uwacha. Tali ni wakada baya mukubomba muri imitofole. Tali ni wakada abakwata yale malo.
Like, and what is your message from the people of Kabwe and Central Province as a whole? And lastly, how wide are your chances of winning the election? So we take a short break, and then Honorable Binwell Mpundu will summarize and answer those questions for us as we conclude with the program.